Hello everybody, welcome back. Today I'm going to try to do some multiple things. I'm going to seed the Jiffy peat pellets. Then I'm going to drill a hole in the new bucket, which is right here. Then I'm going to take the hydroponic bucket and use that one too. I'm not going to drill a hole in that one, but I'm going to get it prepped. Let me go get the Jiffy peat pellets. So initially, I'm going to plant the corn, lettuce leaf, basil. Yeah, I'll do the corn and lettuce leaf, basil. I haven't got the buckets back from my next door neighbor. When I left to go back to go to Vegas and go to the stateside and go see relatives and folks, I went ahead and gave him all my lettuces. And I haven't got the buckets back yet. But before I start drilling the holes, I think I better at least get these Jiffy peat pellets soaking in water. So these are the Jiffy peat pellets. Put them in water. I had a bunch of these, but we used a lot more than I expected. Yeah, we're just filling them up. These are going to get too big in the water, but oh well. So I'll get those Jiffy peat pellets soaking for a little bit. And so, as you can see, put the water in the bowl there. I'm going to grow these vegetables hydroponically. Okay, now let's go ahead and drill the hole. Oh, by the way, that big old bag right there is the white perlite, porous rock, the little tiny white pebbles. So let's go ahead and drill the hole. So I got this bucket from Lazada, which is the online Amazon here, and it was really, really cheap. It was only it was under $5, and I didn't think it was going to be good material, but this handle's good, the frame is good, everything about it is pretty darn good. Actually, I was pretty surprised. Now, based on where the handle is, I'm going to put the hole on this side. This is the paint strainer bag. Put the perlite in there, rinse it off. I know a lot of people online don't rinse it off, but I don't know, it's real dusty and dirty. So I usually just go ahead and rinse it off one time. Sorry guys, I gotta figure out where I put the hole saw. So I got the hole saw here, which is the drill bit. There's a hole in the center. So put that through the center. Now typically in hydroponics you want to have it about a third of the way up because you don't want the water sitting. But here in Thailand it's so friggin' hot. I mean I'm pretty good about checking the water levels at least once a day, sometimes even twice a day. But I got a feeling that with all this hot water here, if I miss a day or something happens or it just uses up a lot of water in a given day. Plus, when these plants get big, And I do kind of bunch grow them a little bit tighter than they should because I just don't want to have 15 million buckets outside. Ends up taking up the water pretty quickly, and so I find it really necessary to put the hole up a little bit higher, so I put it right in the middle. This is pretty darn good plastic. The other bucket is not nearly. Okay, pretty good. Okay, there's the hole there. So I got the bucket drilled. This is the 5-gallon paint strainer bags. Not sure exactly why, but this is one of those items that is. They were like, I think you get like 20 of them at Home Depot for like 20 bucks. They're almost like $1. They're like actually a little more than $1 a bag. Then I came back here in Thailand and went to basically our version of a cheaper dollar store. It's actually cheaper than $1 for a lot of items. And I got a whole bag full of them for like under $3. And so it's a huge difference. So then what we're gonna do is I'll throw the perlite. Usually I take a big old strainer. I have a huge strainer bucket here somewhere. And then what I'll do is I'll rinse off the perlite first and then I pour it in there. I drilled some time moving so many stuff around. I'll have to figure it out later. But I'll fill this up with perlite, take the GCP pellets when they start sprouting, and I'll kind of strategically place them. Corn, usually, like when I used to have individual buckets, I used to just do one single corn here. But based on spacing issues, I may even do like, I don't know yet. Maybe I can do one corn. Maybe one corn in the center. Yeah. We'll figure it out later. Now there's the Jiffy Pete pellets. Or I mean the perlite. Now this is the hydroponic bucket that I had initially. I ordered it a couple years ago and never got around to using it, because I was in and out of town a lot. So what basically this is this is where your plant will be. You'll fill it up with the little clay pebbles down here. And then you'll fill up this bucket inside with the same hydroponic solution. Now this one here is, instead of doing the method I'm doing in that other bucket where we drilled the hole where I'm not going to have an air pump, this one does have a small air pump in there and a hose. So what will basically happen is this will be set up through the pump, and it's going to be pumping fresh air and CO2 and oxygen throughout the system as the water circles through. And how this will be is I'll have a reservoir of water, and it'll just keep on circulating the water with the oxygen in there. But this method works, and this is the method I used at the beginning. But I came out to the realization after watching the doctor, horticulture doctor over in Honolulu, forgot his name, Kratky, and I noticed that I don't really need to be running a pump and getting a little fancy like that. I can just go ahead and just do the hydroponic solution. It'll aerate on its own when you're using perlite anyways, so it works out pretty good. So that's basically where I'm at with that. Now let's go over here and start seeding here. I know this place is a wreck. I just haven't got around to much of anything. Whew. We're going to do the lettuce leaf basil first. Get that lettuce up and running. Boy, I don't remember where I ordered this from, but sure didn't give me a lot of seeds. Seeds in there. I think this is just junky dirt. Oh well. Okay. I'm going to take some of the ones that are already saturated. I must have used a really large peat pellet ones already. These ones are kind of tiny. I mean, it really doesn't make a difference, but for me, just as my eyes have gotten worse over the years and harder to manage these tight little spaces, I find it much easier to just use the bigger Jiffy peat pellets. You'll get online, you'll notice they'll sell some that are quite a bit bigger, a millimeters bigger than the others. So I'll tell you one thing though, this peat moss and this mixture that they have in here helps really grow and start the seeds so much better. I've used potting mix, and I've used other kinds of soil and other mediums, and I've tried to start seedlings in a variety of different ways, and every single time I come back to this method because the seeds end up sprouting so much better when I use the Jiffy peat pellets. So this is kind of my go-to these days. And then what's interesting is I used to put quite a few seeds, 3 to 5 seeds in each Jiffy peat pellet, because I'm kind of bunch growing them anyways hydroponically, plus I have a space shortage issue. But then I've come to the realization, man, that a lot of the seeds sprout, so I don't really have to put as many seeds. I bet you really at most I probably shouldn't put, since this is lettuce leaf basil, which has a big plant base and the leaves get so big, bigger than the size of your hand, I'm probably better off just putting only 2 seeds in each Jiffy peat pellet. these things are still tip them sideways. Doesn't really matter. Okay. So I wet the toothpick, and then I just go ahead and place it in here, and then I just shove it down inside here and cover it up. Probably should make a pre-hole first, it makes it easier. Take that, put it in the pre-hole. I put it in no more than a half an inch down below, probably a third of an inch. Then I kind of pack it in there. And then I'll make another hole. Since I'm putting 2 seeds in each one, make a pre-hole here for both places. Oops, did the seed come out? Yeah, the seed came out. Cover it up. This seed, put it inside the hole. Cover it up. Okay, those 2 are done. Actually, let me just put them in here for the time being. Put some water in here. Some holes there. Yeah, I think the last time I was in town here, I really didn't have any space, so I put in like, what did I put in? About 7 seeds per each Jiffy Pete pellet. But Diet from Germany that lives down the hall from me, he's gonna bring back my buckets here very soon. This is gonna take a while for it to sprout anyway, so I'm not in a big hurry. Plus, I got 3 buckets already I can use in here, so that's more than plenty, really. There's 2 seeds in that one. Hold on. So I tap and pack him in there a little bit. I don't press it really hard, but just enough to make sure the soil is not, there's no air pockets in there. Air pockets are bad for seeds. So, I think I've already stated it once before, so I'll just tell you guys. So I wasn't planning on being back here for a couple more months. Unfortunately, my friend, he lives downstairs, Steve, he got diagnosed 3 days ago with terminal cancer. And so he sent me a message at about 11:30 at night 3 days ago. So I got up in the middle of the night. I booked the ticket back here. It's so hard for me to leave anywhere because I got so much stuff going on. I gotta pack so much to leave, and so I gave myself 30 hours from after sleeping to get all my stuff together. So we're actually, yeah, I bought my ticket at midnight and left 30 hours later. So I went back to bed, and then once I woke up in the morning, I started packing and trying to get things organized. There's so much stuff I have to do, like go to the bank, take care of my taxes, run errands, go shopping, go say goodbye to a couple people. I mean, the list is mile long. So I've been back here for a little more than a day now, and I'll be getting settled in. I did see Steve. I mean, he's all right. I mean, how can you blame somebody? I mean, it's hard to say anything about his spirits, right? Because if you just got diagnosed with terminal cancer 3 days ago, I am very glad that he did tell me, though, because, you know, I'm sure we all have friends where they were sick and they kind of kept it from friends. And everybody's entitled to their own privacy and what they want to do, but I think a lot of times we don't have enough faith in our friends where we think, hey, if I tell people I'm sick, I'm still going to pass away anyways. I don't want to bother them, so I'll just keep quiet until the very end. Either I'll pass away or I'll tell them right before I pass away. But I am glad that I'm able to come back and see him. He's on the couch. He did not want to spend his remaining days in the hospital. He has, the doctors say he has anywhere from 2 to 3 weeks to maybe up to 6 weeks, but not a lot of time. I'm glad he told all of us over here and sent me a message right away. And so that way I was able to come back. I would have felt terrible because if I had come back normally when I was planning on coming back in a couple months, I would have missed him for sure. And so I went to see him yesterday. He's on the couch. He can't really move too much. He didn't want to having a live-in nurse or a nurse stopping by. He'd rather have friends who come and check up on him. So we have a rotation going. And yeah, that's about it. I took him his favorite foods. He doesn't really have much of an appetite. He's lost a lot of weight already. Doesn't have an appetite, but I took him all his favorite stuff. I bought some really expensive smoked salmon. I gave him some jerky. I gave him some Italian cold cuts and some of the high-end cheeses. I went to this really expensive cheese place that I go to every so often, and I just bought basically everything. So, and I was in a hurry too because I got the call that I can come over. I didn't want to go over unannounced. So I got the call saying it was good time for me to come over there because, you know, they're kind of doing it through rotation system and when he has enough energy. So went over there, dropped off all the stuff in his refrigerator, and I think tomorrow I'm gonna bake him some cookies. He may not eat them, but other people who stop by can eat them. And then I'm also gonna go to this bakery of his. There's a place called Harry's Bakery that's really good here. I'm gonna go out there, pick up some baked goods. He may not even eat it, but at least he knows it's there, available for him. I'll get some pastry and some breads. He can enjoy that. See, I always feel like this is a Thai brand because I get all this string and crap in here. I feel like this Jiffy peat pellet may not have as much peat moss as the American version, and that we're getting a little bit cheated. But knock on wood, they're still sprouting, as you can see from the videos from the prior. I didn't have any sprouting issue problems, right? They still sprouted. Okay, we're gonna do the corn next. Let's prep this stuff first. You know, corn is great, but unfortunately it takes up so much darn space. I don't have a lot of space here. I might be getting in trouble here in the condo building for, I put the hydroponic buckets kind of in the side of the pool area, and there's no rule that says I could do that. I can see them coming back to me if I put too many buckets out there saying, hey, it's okay for you to have a couple things out here, but now it's gotten way ridiculous. You have a dozen buckets out here growing hydroponic stuff. So I'm gonna try to keep it out of the people's way. And the corn, I don't want it getting in people's way, so I'll probably put, as much as I would love it to be in the direct sunlight, I think I'm gonna put it off on the side. It'll have a lot of sunlight, but it'll be out of everybody's way. Plus, you know, corn gets really tall, so. Debating whether or not to put one seed in each of these Jiffy Pea pellets or if I should just do two. I think I'm just gonna do one because unlike lettuce where you can kind of bunch grow them, this one is gonna, you can't really bunch grow corn. Then on top of that, so this is a sweet corn. It's a hybrid version. I know some people prefer to buy all natural or organic. They'd rather buy the heirloom ones. I just buy whatever is cheapest and whatever kind of fancy floats my boat. These things are pretty saturated, so I'm not too worried about. So, looks like I'll be here in town. This is early August, or August 10th, 11th, 12th, probably the 12th here, I can't remember. Today's probably the 12th here. And, Bixby, what date is today? Hi Bixby, what's the date today?
Today is Saturday, August 12th.
So today's August 12th, and I am going to be here till probably at least December 19th, 20th. I'll just show up back hometown right before the holidays. Kind of don't really like being there too early before the holidays. People got stuff going on. Then you got to deal with all that traffic. Plus, you know, it's kind of, I'll be honest, out here is like heaven, so I feel like just stay here. Okay, guys, got that done. What did we grab it here? Short-term memory. Oh yeah, I gotta put these seeds back. Where's that Jiffy Pea out bag? So this is perfect. Whew. It was warm today, but not nearly as bad as it was the last time I was in town. So I think we got too much water here. But I want this thing to dry out, but I don't want it swimming in water. because it's not like it's going to soak up water that quickly. And that's good. I'm actually not going to cover this today. Check on it tomorrow. It's pretty saturated. I don't want the seeds to start getting moldy and rotted. Okay. Oh shoot. So eventually, once this starts soaking up a lot of water, I'm gonna go ahead and start putting a little reservoir of water at the bottom. Now what happens is I start throwing these things out by the either the window or out up on the rooftop. And what happens is it's going to soak up a lot of water very quickly. It just evaporates. Right now I just don't want it swimming in water because it's still a seed until it sprouts, and I know it sprouts. I don't want it just swimming in water. Now the peat pellet is pretty saturated, and I want it pretty saturated. And the reason why I don't keep it swimming in water is the seeds will eventually rot if it doesn't sprout fast enough and the seeds rot out. And so that's why I want it to be very moist, and especially with the corn being so dry. As you know, dry corn is pretty dry. So what'll happen is the corn will get saturated, the seed will get saturated. Then it'll take it from the peat pellet. Hopefully it'll sprout very quickly. And then once it starts establishing itself, then what I'll do is I'll end up transplanting it. Oh, actually, you know what I'll do is before I transplant it right away, what I'll do is I'll let it grow a fair amount. But once it starts sprouting, then I can have a little bit of reservoir of water in here, and that way it keeps it fully moist at all times. Kind of get it established for like the hydroponics it's going to be. And then right now I have 6 corn right there. If all 6 sprout, let's say I get lucky and all 6 sprout, I'm not sure if I want to have a single corn in each bucket, but maybe I'll have to do that because it's a fair amount of water that's going to be soaked up from the bucket. So as you saw the size of the bucket, it really is 1 ear of corn, or 1 corn stalk, is that amount of space in a bucket. It works for 1 single bucket. So I don't really want to have 6 buckets of corn that I have to haul around. But worst case scenario, if all 6 of these do sprout and become seedlings, then I'll go ahead and have 6 buckets. If something happens and let's say that only 4 out of the 6 sprout, then I'll have 4 buckets of corn. That is about it. I got everything established. I got the buckets already set up. I did order some more buckets too. 2 extra backups. I got the perlite there. I'm not gonna bother rinsing it now because I'm not ready to, until these things start sprouting and ready to go, there's really no need to do that. I actually, as you saw, I had an extra packet of seeds for the lettuce leaf basil, and I didn't really need that. I have to grow some wildflowers because my girl likes to have flowers just kind of around the room that are growing. So what I'm going to do is basically, what I'll do is the next bucket that I have spare, I'll take probably the hydroponic pump bucket, and I think I'll use that to grow to plant the flower seeds. So I'll do that next, and that'll be a very short video. Well, anyways, guys, take care. I'm not very tired yet, although it's like 2:46 in the morning. I'm gonna go ahead. My body clock is so loopy these days. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off on now, and then the next time I'm back, I'll do a short video on the planting the flower seeds, and then after that, I don't think I have a whole lot to do. I'll come back and show you a video once I see the seeds sprouting. And I got very lucky on the lettuce leaf basil last time. Was it the lettuce leaf basil? I can't remember. I'll have to look back on the videos, but it sprouted like within 1 day on some of the seeds there that I planted, which was crazy. But anyways, you guys have a good rest of the week, and I'll be in touch soon. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.